There is a reason you are reading these words right now. Do not dismiss this as random, as coincidence, or as just another video in your feed. Nothing in your life has ever been random. Every step, every closed door, every sleepless night, every moment you felt lost, it was all preparation. And this moment, this is the moment I have chosen to speak clearly. Not in a whisper you can ignore, not through a sign you can misinterpret, but directly into your spirit. For too long, you have carried something precious inside you. A dream, a plan, a purpose I placed in your heart before you were even formed. And in your excitement, in your human need for validation, in your desire to be understood, you have been showing it to the wrong people. You have been opening the door of your soul to those who were never meant to have access. And it has cost you. You have felt it, haven't you? That strange drain after you shared your idea? That confusion when their words didn't sit right, but you couldn't explain why? That invisible weight that settled on your shoulders after a conversation that should have left you feeling light? You told yourself you were being sensitive. You told yourself they meant well. But deep down, in the quiet place where only you and I exist, you knew something was wrong. Now is the time for truth. Now is the time for you to see clearly. Because what I am about to show you is not meant to make you bitter. It is not meant to make you suspicious of every person who crosses your path. It is meant to set you free. It is meant to protect the fire I have placed inside you before the winds of other people's opinions, jealousy, or doubt can snuff it out. You have been looking for permission from people who have no authority to give it. You have been seeking validation from those who cannot see what I see. You have been asking for advice from those who are still lost themselves. And in doing so, you have been handing over the keys to your destiny to people who do not even know how to unlock their own potential. Think carefully. Think back. How many times have you shared a vision only to have it met with silence? How many times have you spoken about a plan only to feel a sudden fog of confusion afterward? How many times have you walked away from a conversation and found that your fire had dimmed, your certainty had wavered, and your peace had vanished? That was not your imagination. That was a spiritual reality. There are people in your life who I place there for a season. There are people I place there to teach you something, to walk with you for a time, to help you grow in a specific area. But there are also people I never intended to have access to your deepest plans. Not because they are evil, not because they are your enemy, but because their spirit does not align with what I am doing in you. And when two different spirits try to occupy the same space, there will always be conflict. There will always be a leak. There will always be a drain. You have wondered why things have been delayed. You have wondered why doors that seemed open suddenly closed. You have wondered why you feel stuck, spinning your wheels, making no progress. And I have watched you wonder. I have watched you struggle. I have watched you grow weary. And I have remained silent. Not because I was absent, but because you were not yet ready to hear this. But now you are ready. Now you are desperate enough to listen. Now the noise has quieted enough that my voice can finally reach you. And what I need you to understand is this. there is a difference between community and exposure. There is a difference between fellowship and giving away what is sacred. You have been casting your pearls before those who cannot recognize their worth. You have been offering your treasures to those who only see them as stones. And because they cannot see the value, they have mishandled them. They have dropped them. They have stepped on them. They have left you feeling empty and confused, wondering why something that felt so right in your heart felt so wrong when you spoke it aloud. This is not their fault alone. This is also your responsibility, because I gave you a spirit of discernment, and you silenced it. I gave you a warning in your gut, and you ignored it. I gave you a check in your spirit, and you explained it away. You wanted so badly to be understood, to be supported, to be celebrated, that you forgot the most important truth. The approval of people will never sustain what I have created. Only my approval can do that. And I do approve of you. I approve of the dreams I placed in you. I approve of the plans I am bringing to life through you. I approve of the purpose you are walking toward, even when you cannot see the path. But I cannot bless what you keep exposing to the wrong influences. I cannot protect what you keep handing over to those who will mishandle it. So this is my warning to you today. It is not a threat. It is not a punishment. It is a mercy. It is the voice of a father who sees the trap ahead and is calling you to stop before you step into it. It is the hand of a shepherd who sees the cliff and is pulling you back before you fall. There are 3 kinds of people you must stop sharing your plans with. I will show you each of them, one by one. But before I do, you must prepare your heart. You must be willing to see them differently. You must be willing to admit that some relationships in your life are not what they appear to be. You must be willing to create boundaries, even with those you love. Because what I am building in you is too important to leave unprotected. The time for careless sharing is over. The time for guarding your heart has begun, and I am with you in this. I will give you the words. I will give you the strength. I will give you the wisdom to know who to trust and when to speak. But you must listen. You must obey. You must stop treating your plans like casual conversation and start treating them like the sacred trust they are. You are closer than you think to the breakthrough, but the breakthrough will not come until you close the doors that have been letting the life drain out. And the first door I am asking you to close is the one that leads to the people who carry the spirit of skepticism. The first person I am calling you to stop sharing your plans with is the skeptic. Not the person who asks thoughtful questions to help you refine your vision. Not the person who challenges you in love, pushing you to think deeper and prepare better. I am speaking about the person whose default posture toward your dreams is doubt. The one who every time you share something exciting meets you with a furrowed brow, a heavy sigh, or a list of all the reasons it will not work. You know this person. You have felt the air leave the room when you speak to them. You have walked away from those conversations carrying a weight that was not yours to carry, and you have done it again and again, hoping that this time will be different, hoping that this time they will see what you see, hoping that this time they will finally understand. But they never do, and they never will, not because they are incapable of understanding, but because their spirit is not aligned with what I am doing in your life. They see the world through a lens of limitation. They see obstacles where I have placed opportunities. They see risk where I have placed reward. They see failure where I have placed growth. And when you bring your God-given vision into that atmosphere of unbelief, it suffers, it weakens, it begins to look as small to you as it looks to them. You have felt that shift, have you not? You have left their presence, and suddenly the fire that was burning so brightly inside you has dimmed to a flicker. The certainty that felt so solid has developed cracks. The excitement that was propelling you forward has been replaced by a nagging voice that sounds suspiciously like theirs, repeating all their questions, all their warnings, all their reasons to stop. That voice was not planted by me. That voice was planted by them. And you have given it space to grow in the garden of your heart. This is not about cutting people off harshly or treating them as enemies. This is about understanding the spiritual law of exposure. When you expose something fragile to harsh conditions, it withers. When you expose something precious to those who cannot value it, it gets mishandled. When you expose your dreams to skeptics, the dreams begin to die. Not because I willed it, not because the dream was not from me, but because faith and fear cannot occupy the same space for long. One will always overcome the other. And if you keep feeding your dreams to the skeptics, you are feeding them to fear. You have wondered why your momentum stalls. You have wondered why you start projects with passion and abandon them weeks later. You have wondered why the clarity you had in prayer becomes confusion the moment you step into the world. Look at who you are talking to. Look at who has access to your inner world. Look at whose voices you have allowed to speak into the most sacred areas of your life. The answer has been right in front of you, but you did not want to see it because seeing it would require change. And change is uncomfortable. Change means having conversations you do not want to have. Change means setting boundaries that may not be understood. Change means walking alone for a season rather than walking with people who pull you backward. But I am asking you to trust me in this. I am asking you to believe that walking alone with me is safer than walking with a crowd that leads you away from your purpose. I am asking you to understand that isolation is not always the enemy. Sometimes isolation is the only place where I can get you alone enough to show you what you could not see in the noise. Sometimes the wilderness is not a punishment. Sometimes the wilderness is the only place where you can hear my voice clearly enough to find your way home. The skeptic in your life may be a friend. They may be a family member. They may be someone you love deeply, someone who has been with you through difficult times, someone who has proven their loyalty in other areas. And that is what makes this so hard. That is what has kept you bound to them for so long, because you cannot separate their love from their influence. You cannot separate their good intentions from the damage their words cause. You keep telling yourself that they mean well, that they are just trying to protect you, that they do not realize how their words affect you. And all of that may be true, but intention does not equal impact. Love does not always equal alignment, and good intentions, when mixed with doubt, can still poison the well. I have not called you to be reckless. I have not called you to ignore wisdom or surround yourself only with people who tell you what you want to hear. I have called you to be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. And wisdom says you do not keep going back to a well that has consistently given you bitter water. Wisdom says you do not keep planting seeds in soil that has consistently failed to produce fruit. Wisdom says you stop handing your most precious possessions to those who have proven they cannot hold them carefully. There is a reason I brought you to this realization now. There is a reason the timing of this message is not accidental. You are standing at a threshold. Behind you is a season of confusion, of mixed messages, of starting and stopping, of hoping and being disappointed. Ahead of you is a season of clarity, of momentum, of alignment, of breakthrough. But you cannot cross this threshold carrying the weight of every skeptic's opinion. You cannot enter this new season still tethered to voices that pull you back to the old one. Something has to be left behind, and I am asking you to leave behind the need for their approval. I am asking you to release the expectation that they will ever see what you see. I am asking you to stop waiting for them to change before you move forward. They may never change. They may always be skeptics. They may always meet your excitement with hesitation, your faith with fear, your vision with limitation. And that is not your burden to carry. That is between them and me. Your responsibility is to protect what I have placed inside you. Your responsibility is to guard the dream until it is strong enough to withstand the opposition. Your responsibility is to stop exposing tender shoots to harsh winds before they have developed deep roots. This is not permanent isolation. This is strategic protection. There will come a day when what I am building in you is established, when it is visible, when it is undeniable, when even the skeptics will have to acknowledge that I have done something. And on that day, they may come to you and celebrate. They may tell you they always believed in you, even though their words said otherwise. They may rewrite history in their minds to make sense of what I have done. And you will have to decide, in that moment, whether to hold their past words against them or to extend the same grace I have extended to you. But that day is not today. Today, the work is still underground. Today, the foundation is still being laid. Today, what I am building is still vulnerable, still fragile, still in need of protection. And I am asking you to be the guardian of it. I am asking you to stop handing the enemy ammunition in the form of your own excitement shared with the wrong people. I am asking you to stop letting the skeptics water your dreams with doubt. You have spent enough time trying to convince them. You have spent enough energy defending what I showed you in secret. You have spent enough sleepless nights replaying their words and wondering if they were right. They were not right. They were never right. They were speaking from their own fear, their own limitations, their own unbelief. And you have given their words power they were never meant to have. Now it is time to take that power back. Now it is time to reclaim the territory you have let them occupy in your mind. Now it is time to rebuild the walls of protection around your heart, so that what is growing inside you can grow in safety. This will not be easy. The skeptic in your life may notice your silence. They may ask why you have stopped sharing. They may accuse you of being distant, of changing, of pulling away, and you will have to decide whether to explain yourself or simply let your peace be your protection. I will give you the words if you need them. I will give you the wisdom to navigate these conversations with grace. But I am also giving you permission to be misunderstood. I am giving you permission to let them think what they want. I am giving you permission to prioritize what I am doing in you over what they think about you. Because their opinions, however loudly expressed, however confidently stated, however sincerely believed, are not the truth of your life. I am the truth of your life. And I am telling you now, stop sharing your plans with the skeptic. Guard what is precious. Protect what is growing. And watch what happens when the doubt is removed from the equation. The second person I am calling you to stop sharing your plans with is the jealous. This one is more difficult to identify because jealousy rarely wears a sign. It does not announce itself. It does not walk into the room wearing a label. It is subtle, it is hidden, it is disguised, and often it lives in the hearts of those who smile at you the brightest. This is the person who celebrates your successes publicly, but questions them privately. This is the person who speaks well of you to your face, but cannot contain their discomfort when you walk into a room. This is the person who seems supportive, who says all the right words, who shows up when it matters, but whose spirit carries something you cannot quite name. You have felt it in the pause before they respond to your news, in the way their congratulations sound slightly rehearsed, in the shift of energy when you walk away. You have known something was there, but you could not prove it. You could not confront it. You could not even name it. So you dismissed it. You told yourself you were imagining things. You told yourself they loved you. You told yourself that surely, someone who has been in your life this long could not carry envy toward you. But I am lifting the veil now. I am showing you what your spirit has been trying to tell you all along. There are people in your life who are secretly competing with you, even if they would never admit it. There are people who measure their worth against yours and feel themselves coming up short. There are people who love you, but also resent you. There are people who want you to succeed, but not too much. There are people who want you to be happy, but not happier than them. And every time you share your plans with these people, you are pouring fuel on a fire you cannot see. You are feeding a beast that will eventually turn on you. You have wondered why some of your closest relationships feel complicated. You have wondered why you feel drained after time with certain people, even when the conversation was positive. You have wondered why your successes seem to create distance instead of bringing you closer. This is why. Jealousy is a poison that cannot remain hidden forever. It leaks, it seeps, it contaminates everything it touches. And when you share your dreams with someone who carries jealousy toward you, you are not sharing with a friend. You are sharing with a rival. You are handing your vulnerability to someone who, whether they know it or not, has a stake in your failure. Do not misunderstand me. I am not calling these people evil. I am not calling them enemies. I am not saying they wish you harm in any conscious way. Most of them would be horrified to know what lives in their hearts. Most of them would deny it passionately and believe their own denial. But the heart is deceitful above all things. The heart can hide jealousy beneath layers of friendship, beneath years of history, beneath genuine affection. And that is what makes this so dangerous. The jealous person often does not know they are jealous. They have convinced themselves they are happy for you. They have convinced themselves they want the best for you. And yet when you share your plans, something in them twists. Something in them shrinks. Something in them hopes, just a little, that it will not work out the way you hope. This hope is not conscious. It is not malicious. It is simply human. It is the residue of a fallen world where comparison has become the air we breathe. But just because it is not conscious does not mean it is not real. And just because it is not malicious does not mean it does not harm you. The energy of jealousy, even unacknowledged jealousy, even jealousy that would be denied under oath, is real. It is tangible. It affects the spiritual atmosphere around your dreams. And you have been inviting that atmosphere into the most sacred spaces of your life. Think now. Think carefully. Is there someone who brightens when you struggle, but dims when you succeed? Is there someone who asks detailed questions about your plans, but seems distracted when you answer? Is there someone who always has a story that competes with yours, a success that overshadows yours, a problem that outweighs yours? Is there someone whose presence feels safe when you are down, but uncomfortable when you are rising? These are the signs. These are the clues your spirit has been giving you. And you have ignored them because you wanted to believe the best. You have ignored them because acknowledging them would mean redefining a relationship you thought you understood. You have ignored them because it hurts to realize that someone you love may not be able to celebrate you the way you celebrate them. But I am asking you to stop ignoring. I am asking you to stop pretending. I am asking you to see clearly and act wisely. The jealous person does not need to be confronted. They do not need to be accused. They do not need to have their hidden heart exposed by your words. That is my work, not yours. Your work is simply to stop feeding them. Your work is to stop giving them access to the very things that trigger their jealousy. Your work is to protect your plans by keeping them hidden from the one who cannot yet celebrate them fully. This is not permanent. There may come a day when their heart heals, when their own journey brings them to a place of security, when they can genuinely rejoice with you without comparison. I am in the business of healing hearts. I am in the business of transforming jealousy into celebration. I am in the business of redeeming what is broken. That healing is between them and me. It is not dependent on you continuing to expose your dreams to their unhealed heart. In fact, your continued exposure may actually delay their healing because it keeps triggering the very thing that needs to die. You have tried to manage the emotions of those around you while also pursuing what I placed in you. You have tried to protect their feelings while also protecting your dreams. And you are exhausted because of it. You are drained because you have been trying to hold two things that cannot both be held. You cannot keep your plans safe while also keeping them exposed to jealous eyes. You cannot build momentum while also constantly defending your progress to those who cannot bear to see it. Something has to give. And I am telling you, it cannot be your dreams. Your dreams are from me. Your dreams are sacred. Your dreams are the very thing I am using to bring more of my light into this world. And they matter. They matter more than the comfort of relationships that have become complicated. They matter more than avoiding difficult conversations. They matter more than maintaining appearances. They matter more than protecting others from their own jealousy. What I have placed in you must come forth. What I have planted must bear fruit. And it cannot do that if it is constantly being choked by the weeds of comparison and envy. So I am asking you to step back. I am asking you to create space. I am asking you to stop sharing your plans with the jealous. Not out of anger, not out of judgment, not out of fear, out of wisdom, out of love for what I am building, out of respect for the sacredness of your purpose, and out of hope that one day, when what I am doing in you is established, you will be able to look back and see why this separation was necessary. You will see that it was not rejection. It was protection. It was not punishment. It was preparation. It was not the end of a relationship. It was the preservation of something precious until the time was right. There is a season for everything. A season to speak and a season to be silent. A season to share and a season to protect. A season to be known and a season to be hidden. And you are in a hidden season now. Not because I am ashamed of you, not because your dreams are not ready, but because the enemy of your soul would love nothing more than to use the jealous heart of someone close to you to derail what I am doing. And I will not allow it. I am building a hedge of protection around you. But you must cooperate with that hedge. You must stop opening gates that I am trying to close. You must stop inviting in those who cannot yet celebrate you fully. Trust me with this. Trust me with the relationships that confuse you. Trust me with the people whose hearts you cannot read. Trust me with the discomfort of pulling back. I see what you cannot see. I know what you cannot know. And I am guiding you, even now, even through these words, into a place of safety. Do not resist it. Do not explain it away. Do not keep doing what you have always done just because it is familiar. Let the unfamiliar become your new refuge. Let the silence become your new safety. Let my voice become the only approval you need. The third person I am calling you to stop sharing your plans with is the talker. This is the one who cannot hold sacred what you have shared. This is the one who means you no harm, who genuinely loves you, who would never intentionally hurt you, but who simply cannot keep things inside. They speak without thinking. They share without permission. They process aloud, and in their processing, they scatter what you have entrusted to them. You have experienced this. You have told them something in confidence, something tender, something still forming, and days later you hear it echoed back to you from someone else. Or worse, you never hear it echoed, but you feel the shift. You notice that what was once private has become public. You notice that the energy around your dream has changed because too many people now know about it. And you cannot even be angry at them because you know they did not mean harm. They were just sharing what they thought was good news. They were just being themselves. But their self is a leaky vessel, and you keep filling it with living water. This is perhaps the most difficult boundary to establish, because the talker is often the most enthusiastic person in your life. They are your biggest cheerleader. They are the ones who get most excited when you share your plans. They are the ones who want to tell everyone about what you are doing because they genuinely believe in you. And that enthusiasm, that belief, that excitement feels so good. It feels like validation. It feels like support. It feels like finally someone sees what I see. But enthusiasm without discretion is dangerous. Excitement without boundaries becomes exposure. And the talker, for all their good intentions, is unintentionally inviting the entire world into a process that was meant to remain hidden until the time was right. You have wondered why your ideas lose their power once spoken. You have wondered why the things you share with excitement seem to fizzle before they fully form. You have wondered why the element of surprise, the sense of mystery, the sacredness of your journey keeps getting disrupted. Look at who you are telling. Look at who has access to the inner chambers of your heart. Look at who you are allowing to broadcast what I am doing in secret. The talker is not your enemy. They are not even necessarily a bad friend. But they are a danger to your destiny because they do not understand the power of silence. They do not understand that some things must remain between us until they are ready to be revealed. They do not understand that premature exposure can kill what is still growing underground. Think of a seed. When a seed is planted, it does its most important work in the dark. Beneath the soil, unseen by any eye, it cracks open. It sends down roots. It reaches for nourishment. It establishes a foundation that will one day support a visible plant. If you dig up that seed too soon, if you expose it to light before it is ready, it dies. It cannot complete its work. It cannot become what it was meant to become. The same is true of your dreams. They need darkness. They need hiddenness. They need a season where only I see what is happening. The talker, in their excitement, is always trying to dig up your seeds. They are always trying to show the world what is still forming. They are always pulling back the soil to see if anything is happening yet. And every time they do, they disrupt the process. Every time they speak prematurely, they set you back. Every time they share what you told them in confidence, they invite opinions, judgments, and expectations into a space that was meant to be protected. You have felt the weight of those expectations. You have felt the pressure of people watching, waiting, wondering when what you spoke about will manifest. That pressure was not from me. I do not put pressure on you. I put peace in you. I put patience in you. I put trust in the process. But the talker, by spreading your plans, invites the world to put its eyes on you. And suddenly, you are performing instead of becoming. Suddenly, you are striving instead of resting. Suddenly, you are trying to produce something to justify the talk, to prove that their excitement was warranted, to show that you are not just speaking empty words. And in that striving, you lose the very thing I was trying to build in you. This is why I am calling you to stop sharing your plans with the talker. Not because they are bad people, not because they do not love you, not because they would ever wish you harm, but because their mouth moves faster than their spirit can discern, and that speed is costly. It has cost you already more than you realize. It has cost you the element of surprise. It has cost you the protection of privacy. It has cost you the peace of moving silently while the world sleeps, and it is time for that cost to stop accumulating. You must learn the difference between a prayer partner and a talker. You must learn the difference between someone who can hold your dreams in sacred trust and someone who will scatter them like seeds in the wind. You must learn to discern who has the spiritual capacity to carry what I have shown you without needing to share it with everyone they know. This discernment will not come from a list of rules. It will come from spending time with me, from learning to recognize my voice so clearly that every other voice becomes obviously different. It will come from practice, from making mistakes, from sharing with the wrong person and feeling the consequences until you finally learn to stop. I know you are tired of learning this lesson the hard way. I know you are weary of the disappointment that follows misplaced trust. I know you are frustrated with yourself for continuing to share with those who have proven they cannot keep confidence. And I am not angry with you for that. I am not disappointed in you. I am simply calling you to a higher standard now. I am inviting you into a new level of wisdom. I am asking you to let the lessons of the past become the boundaries of your future. The talker in your life may not even realize what they are doing. They may genuinely believe they are helping you by spreading the word, by building excitement, by getting others on board with your vision. They may think they are doing you a favor every time they mention your plans to someone new. And you haven't corrected them because you do not want to seem secretive or ungrateful. You have not set boundaries because you do not want to hurt their feelings or make them feel untrusted. But I am asking you now, whose feelings matter more in this equation? Theirs or the health of the dream I placed in you? Their comfort or the sacredness of what I am building? Their temporary understanding or the eternal purpose I am working out through your life? This is not about being unkind. This is not about pushing people away or creating unnecessary distance. This is about stewardship. This is about recognizing that what I have given you is not yours to give away freely to everyone who asks. It is precious. It is valuable. It is fragile in its early stages, and it requires protection. The talker cannot provide that protection because they do not understand the need for it. They operate from a different paradigm, one where more exposure equals more support, where more people knowing equals more prayer, where more talk equals more momentum. But that is not how I work. I work in the hidden place. I work in the secret. I work in the silence. And if you want to see my work completed in your life, you must learn to love the hidden place as much as I do. So I am asking you to change. I am asking you to stop treating every conversation as an opportunity to share what I am doing. I am asking you to zip your lips and guard your tongue. I am asking you to let the talker talk about other things, to let them share other news, to let them be excited about other topics. But when it comes to your plans, your dreams, your purposes, your visions, I am asking you to be silent. I am asking you to let the seed stay in the ground until it is ready to break through on its own. I am asking you to trust that the right people will know at the right time, and that the wrong people knowing at the wrong time will only create problems you do not need. This is hard. I know it is hard. Silence is hard when you are excited. Restraint is hard when you want to be known. Hiddenness is hard when you want to be seen. But the hidden season is not forever. It is just for now. And when the time is right, when the foundation is laid, when the roots are deep, when the seed has become a plant strong enough to withstand the elements, then I will bring you out. Then I will give you a platform. Then I will put you in rooms where the right people are waiting. Then I will connect you with those who can help without harming, support without scattering, celebrate without exposing. But that time is not yet. And until it is, I am asking you to trust me with the silence. Now you know who they are. The skeptic who waters your dreams with doubt, the jealous who cannot celebrate what they secretly envy, the talker who scatters what you have entrusted to them. You have seen their faces as I described them. You have felt the recognition rise in your spirit. You have known, perhaps for the first time, that what you have been sensing all along was real. And now you are faced with the question that has been forming in your heart since this message began. What do I do now? How do I walk away from relationships that have history? How do I create boundaries with people I love? How do I protect my dreams without destroying my connections? This is the question I want to answer now. This is the practical wisdom I want to give you. Because knowing who to stop sharing with is only half of what you need. The other half is knowing how to step back without causing unnecessary damage. How to create distance without creating enemies. How to guard your heart without hardening it. The first thing you must understand is that this is not about confrontation. I am not calling you to sit each of these people down and explain to them why they have been removed from your inner circle. I am not calling you to list their faults, to accuse them of holding you back, to make them feel the weight of every word they have spoken or every energy they have projected. That would not be wisdom. That would be wounding. That would be you trying to justify yourself instead of trusting me to justify you in my time. Confrontation in this context would only create defenses, arguments, and explanations that would drain the very energy you are trying to protect. It would give them more access to your inner world, not less. It would open the very doors you are trying to close. So, I am calling you to something quieter. I am calling you to a gradual, gentle, unspoken shift. I am calling you to begin sharing less without announcing that you are sharing less. I am calling you to become interested in their lives without offering access to yours. I am calling you to be present without being vulnerable, to be kind without being open, to be loving without being exposed. This is not deception. This is wisdom. This is the same wisdom I gave my son when he told his disciples not to cast their pearls before swine. He did not mean that people are pigs. He meant that not everyone is ready to receive what is precious. And when you keep offering what is sacred to those who cannot value it, you are not being loving. You are being careless with what I have given you. The shift may feel awkward at first. You have built patterns with these people. You have habits of sharing, of opening up, of letting them into the deepest parts of your journey. Changing those patterns will feel strange, like wearing clothes that do not fit. But the awkwardness will pass. The discomfort will fade. And in its place, you will begin to feel something you have not felt in a long time: safety. You will begin to feel the peace of knowing that your dreams are no longer being exposed to winds that would weaken them. You will begin to feel the quiet strength that comes from keeping your plans between us. And that feeling, that safety, that peace will become your new normal. It will become the standard by which you measure every future relationship. But what about when they notice? What about when the skeptic asks why you have stopped sharing? What about when the jealous one senses a shift in your energy? What about when the talker realizes you are no longer telling them things? This is where trust in me becomes essential. I will give you words in those moments. I will give you wisdom that does not come from your own understanding. I will give you answers that are true without being exposing, kind without being vulnerable, loving without being careless. You may simply say that you are in a season of quiet, that you are processing things internally, that you do not have much to share right now. These are not lies, they are the truth, just not the whole truth. And the whole truth is not owed to everyone. The whole truth is sacred. The whole truth is between us. The whole truth will be revealed in my timing, not theirs. You may feel guilty about this. You may feel like you are being dishonest or secretive. That guilt is not from me. That guilt is from the enemy who wants you to keep exposing yourself to harm. That guilt is from the part of you that has been conditioned to believe that openness is always good, that vulnerability is always required, that transparency is always the highest value. But I tell you now, there is a time for openness and a time for closeness. There is a time for transparency and a time for protection. There is a time for sharing and a time for silence. And you are in a time of silence. You are in a season of protection. You are in a moment when what is growing inside you is too precious to be exposed to every eye and every ear. Honor this season. Honor it by not apologizing for it. Honor it by not explaining it away. Honor it by letting it be exactly what it is, a holy, hidden, necessary time of preparation. As you step back from these three types of people, you will notice something else happening. Space will open in your life. Space that was once filled with conversations that drained you, with explanations that exhausted you, with exposures that weakened you. At first, that space may feel empty. It may feel lonely. You may be tempted to fill it with new people, to find replacements for the ones you have stepped back from. Do not do this, not yet. Let the space remain empty for a while. Let the silence settle. Let the absence of voices become a gift rather than a lack. Because in that space, I am going to speak. In that silence, I am going to move. In that emptiness, I am going to fill you with something that no human relationship can provide. This is the part of the journey that most people miss. They identify the wrong voices. They create the necessary boundaries, but then they rush to fill the void with something else. They trade one set of people for another without ever learning to sit alone with me. Do not make this mistake. Let the withdrawal be complete enough that you feel the absence. Let the quiet be deep enough that you hear my voice clearly. Let the space be empty enough that you discover what has been missing all along, the knowledge that I am enough. I am enough for you. I am enough to sustain you. I am enough to encourage you. I am enough to guide you. I am enough to be the only one who knows your plans and still believes in them completely. You have been looking for human validation when you already have divine validation. You have been seeking human partnership when you already have divine presence. You have been craving human enthusiasm when you already have divine empowerment. And none of those people, not the skeptic, not the jealous, not the talker, can give you what I give you freely. So let them go. Not in anger, not in resentment, not in a dramatic exit that leaves wounds on both sides. Just let them go quietly, gently, peacefully. Let them go by no longer feeding them what they cannot handle. Let them go by no longer expecting from them what they cannot give. Let them go by no longer exposing to them what they cannot protect. And as you let them go, watch what I do. Watch how I bring new people into your life who can hold your dreams without doubt. Watch how I raise up friends who can celebrate you without envy. Watch how I connect you with those who can keep confidence without scattering. I have people for you who do not yet know your name. I have relationships for you that have not yet been formed. I have connections for you that will feel like coming home after years of wandering. But those connections cannot form while you are still clinging to the old ones. Those relationships cannot grow while the soil of your life is still occupied by those who cannot value what you carry. So release them. Release the need for them to understand. Release the expectation that they will change. Release the hope that one day they will be different. Receive them as they are. Love them as they are. But stop giving them what they cannot hold. Love them from a distance if necessary. Love them in prayer if that is all that is possible. Love them by releasing them to me and trusting me with their journey. But do not keep feeding your dreams to those who have proven they cannot nourish them. This is the work now. This is the assignment. It is not dramatic. It is not public. It is not something you will post about or announce or explain. It is quiet, holy, invisible work. It is the work of shifting who has access to your heart. It is the work of redefining what you share and with whom you share it. It is the work of learning to walk with me in such intimacy that the opinions of others lose their power over you. The part that ties everything together, the truth that will set you free to walk in the wisdom I have given you, without fear, without guilt, without looking back. You have learned who to stop sharing with. You have learned how to step back gently. You have learned to embrace the silence and let the space be filled by me. But there is one more thing you must understand, one more truth that will anchor everything else. Your silence was never just about protection. It was also about preparation. It was never just about hiding. It was about becoming. It was never just about who you stopped talking to. It was about who you started becoming when no one was watching. The season you are entering now, this season of hiddenness, of quiet, of keeping your plans between us, is not a punishment. It is not a sentence to be endured until I finally let you out. It is a gift. It is the most fertile soil your dreams have ever known. Because in the hidden place, away from the opinions of the skeptic, away from the energy of the jealous, away from the exposure of the talker, you are free. Free to fail without an audience. Free to learn without judgment. Free to grow without comparison. Free to become without performance. This freedom is essential. This freedom is the very thing that has been missing from your journey until now. Think of how you have lived. Always aware of who was watching. Always conscious of how your progress looked to others. Always measuring your growth against their expectations or their achievements or their words. That awareness, that consciousness, that measuring has been a weight. It has slowed you, it has distracted you. It has kept you from the full immersion in the process that true growth requires. And now I am removing that weight. I am taking the eyes of others off you so that you can finally focus on my eyes alone. I am silencing the voices so that you can finally hear my voice clearly. I am closing the doors so that you can finally stop looking at the exits and start looking at the path ahead. This is the transformation that could not happen while you were still exposed. This is the inner work that could not be done while you were still performing. This is the deep change that could only happen in secret. And now, in secret, it is happening. You may not feel it yet. You may not see it yet. But beneath the surface, beneath the silence, beneath the hiddenness, I am working. I am strengthening what was weak. I am healing what was wounded. I am clarifying what was confused. I am establishing what was shaky. I am doing in you what no human relationship could ever do, what no human approval could ever accomplish, what no human audience could ever produce. I am making you ready. And when you are ready, when the work is complete, when the foundation is solid and the roots are deep, then I will bring you out. Not because you need the validation of others, but because what I have built in you is meant to be shared. Not because you need the approval of the crowd, but because what I have formed in you is meant to bless the world. Not because you have earned the right to be seen, but because the time for hiddenness will have served its purpose, and the time for manifestation will have come. On that day, you will step out not as the same person who stepped into this season. You will step out stronger, quieter, more confident, less needy. You will step out with something in your eyes that was not there before, a depth, a knowing, a peace that can only come from having walked through the fire and emerged unburned. You will step out with the story that is yours alone, a testimony of what I did when no one was watching, a witness to the power of the hidden years. And the people who once doubted you, the skeptics who questioned your dreams, they will see you and know that something happened that they cannot explain. The people who once envied you, the jealous ones who could not celebrate your success, they will feel the shift and be unable to deny that I have been with you. The people who once talked about you, who scattered your words like seeds, they will fall silent in the presence of what I have built. But here is the most important truth of all. By the time that day comes, their opinions will no longer matter to you. The approval you once craved from them will have lost its power. The validation you once sought from them will no longer be necessary. Because in the hidden place, in the silence, in the secret, you will have found something greater than anything they could give. You will have found me. Not just as a concept, not just as a belief, not just as a religious idea, but as a living, breathing, present reality. You will have found the one who knew you before you were formed, who placed the dreams in your heart, who guided you through every closed door and every delayed answer, who spoke to you in the silence and became enough. This is the goal. This is the point. This is why the warning had to come. This is why the boundaries had to be set. This is why the silence had to fall. Not just to protect your plans, but to protect your heart. Not just to guard your dreams, but to guard our relationship. Because at the end of everything, after all the plans have unfolded, and all the dreams have manifested, and all the purposes have been fulfilled, what will remain is what was always meant to remain. You and me, together, in an intimacy that nothing can touch. So do not fear this season. Do not resent the silence. Do not mourn the loss of what you thought you needed. Embrace it. Welcome it. Thank me for it. Because I am doing something in you that could not be done any other way. I am building a foundation that will hold the weight of everything I am about to build on it. I am forming a character that will be able to carry the blessing without being crushed by it. I am creating a vessel that will be able to hold the glory without cracking under the pressure. And when the time is right, when the work is complete, when you are ready, I will speak again. I will say, go now, show them what I have done, share what I have given. Let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. And on that day, you will go, not because you need to prove anything, but because you have so much to give. Not because you are desperate to be seen, but because you are overflowing with what you have received. Not because the silence was unbearable, but because the silence made you ready. Until that day, rest in the hidden place. Rest in the secret. Rest in the knowledge that I see you, I am with you, I am for you, and I am working all things together for your good. The skeptic does not define you. The jealous does not diminish you. The talker does not expose you. Only I define you. Only I establish you. Only I protect you, and I have called you by name. You are mine, and nothing, not the words of the skeptic, not the energy of the jealous, not the scattering of the talker, Nothing can separate you from my love or from the purpose I have for your life. Go now in peace. Guard what is precious. Protect what is growing. Trust me with the silence. If this message found you, if it spoke to you, if it confirmed what you have been feeling in your spirit, then do not keep it to yourself. Someone else needs to hear it. Someone else needs this warning. Someone else needs this wisdom. Share this video with them. Let it find who it is meant to find. And before you go, take a moment to comment one word: protected. Let it be your declaration. Let it be your prayer. Let it be your agreement with everything I have spoken over you today. I am with you, always, even to the end of the age.